Hey guys, what is going on? Matt Kelly here, and today we've got a bit of a different video for you. This is not the norm. I'm going to show you what could be the coolest, most interesting DIY home sailing kayak project probably ever. Let's be real, probably ever. This is done by Nick Thompson, otherwise known as Sailing Yak. You've seen a couple of his videos on YouTube. He's been in plenty of mine. Let's get up there and check out what he's built and talk through the entire thing, because it's pretty awesome. Actually, before we do that, let's see a clip of it in action. Alright, and now you've seen that, let's go and see how it was built. Alright, well this is it, right here. Say hi.
Yo.
Alright, should we start at the bow? Do you want to start at the front?
So initially I wanted to get a kayak, and I saw that the Hobie Revolution kayaks, they you can get a little sail for them, but honestly it looked a little bit crappy. I wanted a little bit more power, so I thought, oh, I'll just make my own. So effectively buy the shell, the kayak, and then just come up with your own sailing configuration. So what you're looking at here is, I haven't spent a lot of time on it in the last couple of years, but this is about 8 years down the track of modifications. I like to think of each version of the kayak is probably relates to each version of the or like each iteration of the mast. So this is about mast number 5. Every other mast has not performed as well as I would have liked to, and has broken.
I've seen a couple where you're cruising along in about 12 knots of wind and the mast is like bent right over.
Oh yeah, yeah. The last one was I think it was a bathroom curtain rod, and it wasn't made to go in salt water. So yeah, I was hauling along out in the bay, and it just snapped in the middle while I was going. So this is this. Oh, actually, let's have a look. So when you want more power, you need to add more structure to the boat. So initially, before the base of here was just like a little plastic insert, which was a bit rubbish and it broke pretty quickly. So I made this bulkhead, which the whole mast goes down into, which basically puts the mast in the whole structure, the whole frame of the boat. So and that with the side stays, there's basically nothing that's going to break this mast down.
Yeah, they're solid as. What's the actual mast made of?
There's an aluminium, so I think the main frame of it is an aluminium, oh there you can see.
Oh yeah.
Aluminium tube. And then inside the aluminium tube there is a PVC insert that sits super tight inside, and that goes up to about here, which gives it a bit of extra strength. Right. And then PVC on the outside, so the whole thing can effectively spin on itself. Yeah. So that's the furling system.
So that's okay. So then the idea is this stays static, this rotates, that rotates, which means your whole sail can effectively furl on and off with relative ease.
Yeah. Shall we have a look?
Yeah, let's do it. Jeez. And I noted that you use your foot to do a lot of the configuration.
Oh yeah. So the good thing about this model, or this version of the kayak, is I can go out in any conditions. So if it's blowing 30 knots, I can...
Jeez, it's so fast.
I can have a handkerchief, a sail out, and I can still putt along. Yeah. Where the previous version of the sail, I couldn't furl. It was all up or all down, and it was really good in light winds, but I couldn't take it out in rougher conditions.
Right.
So this is the most versatile version of the Yak that there's been, and obviously if I'm not sailing, this little contraption keeps the main sheet out of my head.
There you go. So talk me through, what is the sail actually made of? Because it looks like, I mean, it looks very legitimate as far as sales go.
Yeah, so as far as sales go, it's pretty darn good because it's an old hang gliding sail. So
right.
It's, I don't know, 40 years old. Like Dad's old hang gliding sail had a big tear in it, so I decided to sew it up. So basically, all of the most of the stitching you can see is stitching to do up the like to turn it into a sailing boat.
That wasn't there originally.
Not a lot of it. Like all of this is all new stitching.
Yeah.
I think that was there before, but the jib is also from the hang gliding sail, and I also have a spinnaker cut but not sewn yet. That,
in case you thought having a jib and a main was overkill on a kayak, it's also a spinnaker.
I would love to get the spinnaker, maybe a bowsprit or a spinnaker pole. That's the next iteration, I think.
All right, so let's pull the main in and let's have a look at the jib. It's amazing. Like, I'll tell you what. Like, I have seen many of the sailing kits they make for small yaks, and having it furl like that is a pretty big game changer as far as convenience goes.
So, control systems, all the main sheets and furling lines are on the right. The jib is on the left.
Jeez, it catches the wind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then yeah, you do get a bit of flex in that, but it's still very rigid.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then that gives you an indication of how the furling system is working here. We've effectively made like a couple of brackets here just to hold it all together, and the line just feeds in and spools on.
So the beauty of the jib, to have a jib and a main and a centerboard, or effectively a keel.
What's the centerboard made of?
An old windsurfing centerboard.
Right, so we're recycling now.
These are just rubber inserts so that it fits.
Oh, right. So where you previously would have had pedals, okay, so the idea is that they're thick enough that clamps some wedges in.
It wedges in and it goes just fine. So with all of this, it actually travels quite well in any conditions.
Yeah.
I can go fairly well up into the wind as long as the current's not really bad. It's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Like on any conditions, I can almost go anywhere.
We're going for an ocean crossing.
Yeah, pretty much. While we're here, so Matt Kelly Fishing behind the camera, he helped me out with this little modification not too long ago.
That was some leftover plywood from the last restoration project.
Yeah, so the old, I guess, control panel up here was just some old ply that hadn't been protected or anything, and was just coming apart. So we came up with this beastly thing, which will outlast the apocalypse.
Yeah, good.
And it looks great. And also, we replaced the tiller handle, which you need. You might think, oh, you're sitting in the seat, why do you need a tiller handle? Well, when the boat's tipping over like this,
you're leaning out here.
You're leaning out there. You kind of want to be able to have this out there to control.
Right, so previously you would have literally just had this little handle there, which is a standard Hobie configuration, and then you would just rotate that. This gives you like something much more versatile.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Which is versatility, flexibility, power, control. That's what you want.
That is what you want. That is what you want. Cool. And then it's sitting on wheels right now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I know that a little in some of the video footage that we've got, you've actually got your Outriggers, your inflatable Outriggers.
Oh yeah.
That's also a Hobie accessory.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the few Hobie accessories that I actually bought. I tried to make some Outriggers myself. I cut up and tried to shape an old surfboard and fiberglass it, but that very quickly turned bad. I need to practice my fiberglassing.
That's a big project, yeah. So the idea here is it literally just clips in, And because they're Hobie made and designed, it all works pretty seamlessly.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I bought them before the first trip I did, or the first big trip. I took this over to Peel, so basically from Raby Bay across to Peel, about 20k return.
Jeez.
And there's a bit of a like the straight or the stretch of water through there can get kind of rough, so I didn't want to go out without a bit of safety from the Outriggers, and they were brilliant. Felt really good in them.
Yeah, for the drag that they create, it gives you a lot more stability.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Cool. And then there's a lot of line here, but I think all that really is that's just supporting anything you need to put under there, really, isn't it?
Yeah, this is just bungee strap for anything you put in the back.
For your luggage.
For the luggage or for, I don't know.
Esky, food, whatever.
Put in a bait well or something.
Yeah, and then so this is literally just is that a stay, is it?
Yeah, this is the rear stay. So this is, I think, where a lot of the rigidity out of the whole system comes from. We've got a couple of pulleys to help add a bit more tension, and then hook that up, and it makes it all really tight, which is brilliant. Otherwise, the mast moves a lot.
And then the rudder.
So this is the big rudder that you can get from Hobie. Actually, another good addition from Hobie. The small one wasn't giving enough traction in the water in bigger swells, but this here, when I did go out in bigger swells, when there was a lot of weed about, and one time when the sea was full of jellyfish, the jellies or the weed would just hit here, pull the rudder up, and then I've got no steerage. So I came up with this so that when the rudder goes down, hook this up, and it keeps the rudder down, so
locks it.
I've got steerage. So any jellies that I come through, I'm just going to cut them up.
You'll just slice them.
Yeah.
But if you needed to pull it up, so what, you just unhook that?
Unhook.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. So it goes up, all right. Doesn't go down so well.
Right. Okay.
It's a manual put down at this stage.
All right. So here's a question for you. Unlimited time, unlimited budget, modifying this, what do you do next?
Definitely got to get Spinnaker up and running. So at the moment it's literally I cut out a Spinnaker shape. It's a big sail, like from the front of the boat it'd probably come back to here.
Right.
So it'd be pretty cool. The thing with this is it's not super great downwind.
Yep.
The Spinnaker would be great, which would probably involve adding a bowsprit, and I'd probably need to attach make some sort of Spinnaker pole off the mast or off the hull.
Just to get it out.
Just to put it out sort of this sort of position.
Right.
Spinnaker, I mean, the rudder needs to get a little bit fixed up, but that's not sort of a cool, crazy modification.
No. I think if you had a Spinnaker jib and main, I don't think there's many people that would be competing with you for sail, even just like square meterage of sails.
Oh, a little electric motor.
Electric motor, yep, that's handy.
Just because.
Yep.
An electric motor on a kayak would be cool.
That would also be pretty useful.
Oh,
they've got the new ones that actually slot in down inside the.
Oh yes, yeah, for the Hobies.
That would be useful.
That for the.
You do that for your centerboard, but there's something in that. Yeah.
And if I'm putting some electric in, maybe some Nav. Well, I was going to say Nav Lights, but I've got some battery-powered Nav Lights. Maybe a all-round white light.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Bit more versatility.
Oh well, if you're doing that, then stereo, Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's
once you've got battery, the sky's the limit, really.
I mean, it's a sound hull. You could add a bit of weight onto it, and then it'd still go alright. Yeah, that's pretty much the Sailing Yak.
That's the Yak. All right, thank you. that jib out. Dude, that's too crazy. It's too crazy. You need your outriggers badly. Always cut it fine here. Dude, that was crazy.